Hi friends, so today I am playing with a fun little New Year's type of painting here. I want to have some little fireworks, and then I drew on here a little kind of a cityscape, and I've got a circle I drew on here just using the lid of a little pan I had here, and we're just going to play and see what happens here. I never use masking, but I thought I would try it on here because I wanted to mask out the little firework sprays. And I am using Artisto paper 9x12, a little bit bigger sheet this time. And let's see, what else? I'm using a Meeden brush because it's kind of an older brush, and I'm going to use that for the masking. I rarely use masking. I just don't seem to have a lot of luck with it, but we'll see. And I wanted a real fine line, so this is going to take me a little while. And maybe I will fast forward through this for all of you. But here it goes. While we're waiting for this to dry, what I'm going to do, it's kind of cold here, so that might take a little while, is I'm going to play with some color swatches. Let me grab my brush, and I think I'll be using, well, you can use either an 8 Princeton Velvet Touch. You know, I love those, love the handle. It's so nice and soft. Real snappy. I love that. If you have my brushes, you can use, let me find mine, my 8 round. These are sold out, but if you don't have my brushes, you can use the 8 round in the Velvet Touch by Princeton. So let's play with some colors. I couldn't decide if I wanted to use some of these pretty metallics. I think I will blend those in with some of my colors. But let's get our paints out here. I'm going to be playing with my MieLiangs. Let me grab those. The Paul Rubens MieLiangs. So I'm going to just give those a very light spray. You don't want big puddles or anything. And let's play with some colors here. What I'm going to do with these colors is I'm going to be laying them down in the background, and then wherever the mastic is, it won't show, it won't paint over that. When I'm done doing the background, I'm going to remove that, and hopefully it'll be nice and white. We'll see. Like I said, I haven't used mastic for a long time. So the colors I want to use, I think let's get a fun little color palette here. So that is Arcade Yellow, really pretty. Let's do, of course, always have to have that beautiful blue. So I'll probably put that in there too. And this will be real washy. Just love those colors. Let's see, how about a blue and a purple? Let's try that, or we could even try our rose pink and some of that blue. Let's see what we get with that. By the way, I'm playing right now on the, this paper that I'm playing with is a hot press by Paul Rubens. And let's see, what other color should we add in there? Maybe like a darker purple. I mean, really just play with whatever you want. Now, I don't want to get it too mixed in with that green because it'll turn into mud since they're opposites. Let me show you on the color wheel. So purple and green, if I mix those, they're going to turn into mud. They're going to mute each other out. So I don't want to get those two mixed up. Let's see here. What other beautiful colors can we add in here? This is going to be the type of background I'm going to have behind these fireworks. Let's try this light blue. That one's not too bad. I think that's sky blue in your MieLiang palette. Again, just adding water around the edges. That's what I'm going to do with the entire background. So I really like those type of colors. Let's put a little bit more yellow here. get some green going. Isn't that fun? Like, what a beautiful burst of colors. That's going to be how I create. Might bring some of that purple down here, but don't want to get it too much into the yellows because that will then also turn to mud. So that'll be the look that I get. I could even put a little salt in there if I wanted to make it look like there's some splatters and things. By the way, the other thing I did when I applied this mastic or masking fluid, and by the way, I used Daniel Smith because originally I thought I might use the tip, which is pretty small, to draw these little lines on, but it wasn't quite small enough. So the other thing I did is I took a toothbrush and kind of splattered around just to make it look like little sparkles coming off the fireworks. But I think I'll use some salt as well. And let's see, what am I looking for here? Oh, I wanted to show you. So the masking fluid I've found in the past has typically been Winsor Newton, and it comes in this bottle. It's getting kind of old. I see there's a little piece dried up there, but I've had this for years and years. And then I use an old brush. Make sure you use an old brush, and as soon as you're done applying that masking fluid, make sure you wash your brush really good. You can always use that brush cleaner. Let me show you that I talk about quite a bit. I use this. I also in the past, this is Masters brush cleaner. You can also use just some baby soap or mild detergent and do that, but make sure you wash it out really, really good. You don't want that masking fluid stuck in your brushes, although I do have brushes specifically for my masking fluid that I use. And all right, so once this is dry, I'm going to let it dry for about 20 minutes because I have a couple thicker areas that I don't want to be wet when I start drawing. And then I've got these wonderful buildings down here that actually what I will do right now for you so you can see them. Let me grab a micro pen, and I'm just going to outline those. And these I will paint. Basically, I'm going to paint these in black. I'm just going to use my flat brush. I'll show you in a second here. So just drawing some of these buildings. You can use a ruler if you really want to get nice and straight. I'm just kind of freehanding it because that's kind of how I roll. This would be really pretty on a black paper too, using those metallics. That would be another option versus using mastic or masking fluid. You could just use black paper. So let's keep drawing these. And then I'm going to go around the edge with my gold series, which is that series you see me use all the time. So I'm going to use that to go around the edges and maybe splatter. Couldn't decide if I wanted to use the silver mirror series or the gold. Okay. So there we go. We've got our little city outline drawn there. And let's finish letting this dry and we will get started. I just finished putting on the masking and I'm going to show it to you here. Now, I don't use masking very often. I got a few kind of spots that are bigger than I really intended. I'm going to let this dry for about 20 minutes or so. Hopefully this works. Like I said, I don't use masking too often. So fingers crossed, and once this dries, we will get started on the rest. All right, I think this is dry. So with mastic, you know, depending on the brand, Daniel Smith, like I said, I'm using, typically it's going to take, 30 minutes. I usually will wait an hour or so. You just want to make sure it might be tacky, but not wet. And if you paint on it when it's wet, it's going to get mixed in with the paint, and basically you're just going to have a mess. So I let this sit maybe an hour. Let's cross our fingers it's all done. It's just barely tacky. It's winter here, so it's kind of cold, but hopefully that works. And now I'm going to start painting in that washy background. I'm going to make this pretty wet. And I'm using, oh, so funny, there's little sparkles in my brush. Can you see that? I have sparkles everywhere, you guys. But you know, my motto is have fun, right? So let's get those sparkles on everything. Anyway, I'm using my 16 round. You can use your Winsor Newton. You can, your Princeton. This is the Zen Art one. You know, any brush that is large like that is just perfectly fine. And let's go ahead and go in, and let me get my palette sitting in front of me here so I can kind of see what I'm doing. And I think around these, I'm going to make those maybe, let's go for our hot pink purpley color. There we go. Lots of water. You could even just use a spray bottle if you wanted to here. But I want it to be quite washy, but yet the darker the paint, the more you're going to have the white mastic is going to really show up when I peel it off. So there's one, and then let's do this one over here. I think I'll do that one in a yellow color. So let me pick up some of that, start laying that down. And I'm even going to encourage them to kind of blend together here. Going outside of my circle, by the way, that I drew. So the darker the pigment, the more it's going to show up. So I want to have quite a concentrated color. Now I might even, I've got some water going there, might even blend it around. I really want this fun washy effect. And then I think down here, I'm using a lot of water, guys. So if you notice, my paper is just curling a little bit, but that's kind of to be expected because I'm really dousing this. Then I think I'll put some pink splatters in here. There we go. Really make it look like it's just splattering out. You could use some salt on here. And then this little one here, I think I will do in a blue. Ooh, look at that. So pretty. I'm going to mix this with some of that yellow. So fun. Okay. I'll paint over this little cities in black, so I'm not real worried about that. Might add a tiny bit more concentrated pigment in here because I think that'll really make it more dramatic. There we go. And now let's just let this dry and do its thing. And as soon as it dries, we will get started with removing that mastic. I don't really want to do anything else until this dries. All right, everybody, 2 seconds and we'll let this dry. By the way, you don't want to use a dryer when you're using masking because it'll make it gummy. It just doesn't work. So don't use a heat gun or a dryer on any of your places you use masking. Okay, be right back. All right, this is pretty dry. There, I accidentally hit this, so that was a little bit wet, but I'm gonna use this little rubber eraser. You can definitely use your fingers to do this as well, but I have found that this rubber eraser really seems to work pretty well. Apologies for that camera shaking. So as you can see where the masking was, it's white. Now it might be a little bit harder to see on the yellow because the yellow's pretty light, but let's see what we can do here. I know there's a lot of shaking there. See if I can get this off. This little rubber eraser, I think it came with the masking, actually. They do work pretty well. Let's try the red. I was a little bit nervous because it was a little damp still. Oh yeah, there we go. It really shows up on the red. So a really dark blue in the background would be ideal because look at how much it shows up. But isn't this fun? It just looks like little explosions. I have to be kind of careful right here because I think that center part might be a little bit wet with the paint. But let's see what we can do here. Might have to come back to some of that. Oops, see, it's smearing a little. So don't do that. I'm going to leave that how it is. And let's start to work on the little city buildings down here. So I'm going to use, you could use a flat angle brush, angle shader, flat shader. This is the Velvet Touch 8. So you could definitely use that. You could also use my 8-ring angle shader. It's a little bit wider. Let's get a dark blue black going here in my palette. And we could have even done these buildings in like a gold, I think would be really pretty. But I wanted to make it look a little bit like it was a shadowy type thing. So let me get my paint here and start painting this. So actually that Winsor Newton, I think I will switch to the smaller brush. Where is it? Here we go. So that is the angle shader because some of these little buildings are quite small. And I will follow around with the circle I have here. There we go. Get these all blackened in. Just like that. So fun. This is quite relaxing as well for me. It's just something easy, fun, no perfection here, just plain, going slow. Yeah, I like that. Get all these architectural details in here. Pick up some more. I have never been to New York City, but this would be how I might envision it. There we go. Just these beautiful tall buildings. And even for this little point, I can use the edge of that brush, which is really great. I love a brush that can be used numerous ways. I always think that's kind of cool. So you don't have to change your brush. And I can get it quite wide. There we go. guess I really didn't need to fill in the lines. I just needed the outline of the city. I'd love to hear any of your experiences in the city, especially on New Year's. I bet it's a lot of fun. Keep going here. And then I'm going to go around the edge with that MAB metallic, just to give it a gold kind of frame. There we go. Almost done. This brush makes it so easy to get a crisp line. I love that. Let's see, let's blend this in. And funny, this this brush of mine also had some sparkles in it, so I've got just a little bit of sparkle going on in this black. I feel like all my brushes always have sparkles in them. Give this one more coat, one more layer. So relaxing. Just a little bit more. But look at those nice edges I can get. Okay. I think that's good. Isn't that fun? Now, I can basically give make sure to wash and rinse your brush, by the way, especially when using those dark colors. I will probably, because I used black and Payne's Gray, I will probably just use a little tiny bit of that Masters brush cleaner in that when I'm done. Okay, so now what I want to do is go around and add that gold rim around all of this. And you could actually use silver, you could use gold, you know, really whatever color. Matter of fact, let's see what the silver looks like. I'm about out of my silver. I need to get, I'm thinking, I can't tell if I want to use silver or gold. Let's see what the silver looks like. And I can always switch to the gold. So there's the silver. Now let's do a little bit of the gold and let's see which we like better. There we go. I think the gold might show up a tiny bit more. Ooh, yeah, definitely I think the gold. Yeah, that shows up quite a bit more. You could even use both, right? I'm always pushing the boundaries here. That's kind of pretty. I have both on that one. I think I'll let that dry just a tiny bit and let's just keep going around our circle. So I kind of lose my circle a little bit here. See it there? Look how pretty. Oh my gosh, is this just so New Year's Eve-y? I feel like that really has that New Year's Eve feel to it. Let's see, I'm gonna turn my paper upside down. And I did draw my circle on here, luckily, so I could follow that. And I think I'm actually kind of liking the silver and the gold together, so I just added a little bit of the silver. I've never done that before. That was kind of fun. There we go. Look how pretty. And just go around the outside of my little buildings here. That was a little bit wet, so I got a little bit of a blend there. Ooh, I can't believe I had never tried the silver and the gold together. It's really pretty. See, that's a happy accident, guys. Look at that. So I've got, I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if I can hold this up. But there's kind of a silver gold circle around it. Now, this I think would be really pretty on black paper if you were using all metallics. Wouldn't that be pretty? And we can even go in here and draw some darker pink lines for those fireworks. So let's kind of play with that. I almost want to grab a fine liner. Let me see if I have a fine liner here. We could almost use the 6 Princeton, but let's see. I've got this little tiny Meeden brush that is quite small. So that's what I think I'm going to use, and just very light touch and add in some more little details here, like that. I mean, kind of play, you know, you could even do these with your metallics, which I'll try in a minute here. Just keep going. Oh yeah, isn't that fun? So we've got some mixes of color there. Let's use a little bit of our silver. Or we could even mix the silver and the gold again. And, ooh, yeah, that looks nice. I like the silver and the gold. There we go. So hopefully you can see that. Let's do a little bit. I think the blue will be really pretty with that. So I'm going to first use the darker blue and create a couple lines. Try to not put my hand in my wet paint. Ooh, look how fun. I love this. Just a lightest touch. And it's easier if you use a little bit more water too, because it thins out the paint. Look at that. And then let's go and we'll add some into our yellow here. Grab some of that cad yellow. And we are almost done. I mean, you could keep adding on to this. Look how fun. Just feels so festive, doesn't it? Like I almost feel like I could be there. There we go. And maybe last but not least, we could add a little bit of splatter in. And here, gosh, you could use gold or silver paint to splatter. I think would be really pretty. I'm going to do just a tiny bit with each of the colors. So just a little bit of that. And then let's grab some yellow, a little bit of that, and a little bit of our blue. I think all of our favorite is that turkey blue. There we go. And boy, does that feel like just, it's in action, doesn't it? And then lastly, and I'm going to use this silver because I feel like the silver won't show up quite as much as the gold, but it'll be one of those things where you take a double take, like, ooh, do I see a little glitter in there? Oh, yeah. Look at that. Perfect. So fun. And I'm going to make sure I get some of that silver onto these black buildings. And there we go. I think we're done. What fun that was. I hope you give this a try. I had a lot of fun with it. And happy painting, happy new year. I'm thrilled. We're going into, it will be my, gosh, it's been a year and a half so far for me here on YouTube, and I just look so forward to seeing all my familiar faces and new faces on here and hearing you talk about what fun you're having. And I just can't wait for 2025 and all the new fun things. There's going to be brush show, there's going to be some landscapes, and lots of abstracts and flowers, of course. All right, everybody, happy new year to you, and I hope you give this a try. I will link all my art supplies down below, and I will see you all in the new year.